I'm your host, Seth the Dart Child.
I'm your host, Twinsinc.
Our show is about two guys and any friends that happen to come over with a topic that we want to chop up.
This is our Barbershop style podcast. We discuss it all. If the fellas at the shop will go in on it, we will. Let's chop it up. Mic check. Seth the Dart Child, how's it going on, my brother?
Brother, I'm good, man. Just trying to survive some more in this weird world we live in.
I know that's right. Well, you know what? I mean, if you feel like sharing, I understand. You know, you had a unexpected events happen to you. I don't know if you want to get into it. We can get past it.
Well, you know, there's not a lot to get into. So this morning I get up, I go get ready to go to the gym. I look over my shoulder when I put the car in reverse, and I look over my shoulder to back up. I notice that my back window is busted.
Send me the thing
so
we can look at it, all right?
Yeah.
And that right there is definitely an unexpected situation that's happened, which, you know, I've been there plenty of times. So I'm sure that's not the way that you wanted to start out your day, right?
Well, you know,
go ahead.
Just without sounding like I'm getting mad at the world, because I am a dark child here. But yo, seriously, people, I've had my front door kicked open. While I do not think this equate out to grape or nothing like that, it really puts you in an angry moment to find out that you work hard, you struggle to survive, you get out there and you grind, and then somebody else decides that it'd be easier to take what's yours than to work for it themselves.
See that part right there, right?
Right there.
That you worked hard for, and somebody feel they can just take something that you worked hard for. So I get that right there, man. That's
yeah. So seriously, somebody broke into my car last night. So now, and the worst part, I can only imagine they're doing this crap a lot, because I went to like 3 different companies online to set up an appointment and get a quote. And I ended up going with SafeLight, because they literally are the ones who had the most openings. And the earliest opening is next Friday. Okay, so literally I got to wait 5-6 days before I can get my window repaired.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that's the soonest. It's not even the cheapest. It's just the soonest I can get it done.
Let that marinate for a second, people. Someone broke into his car or window, whatever, and get it replaced. It's going to wait. He had to wait until Friday. You have to really think about, like, so is there hundreds of people getting their windows busted in that that backed up? And if that's the case, how come that's something I'm not hearing about in the news being an issue? Because that's a big deal right now, if you ask me.
Well, I mean, you saw what happened during All-Star Weekend. I mean, people cars are sitting on bricks and everything. Listen, and this is me being pessimistic, right? 30 million people lost their jobs last year.
Facts.
30 million. We can talk all we want, but this lockdown was horrible. People get desperate. People run out of money. These bootleg stimulus checks. For me, my stimulus check, which is going to go to fix my window right now, that's just investment money. You know what I'm saying? That's just money going into my investment account. I'm grateful for it, but it doesn't move my needle. That ain't true for everybody. Some people needed that money to make ends meet, and they struggle. And the worst part about it is, as you start struggling, you start getting desperate.
Facts.
That's me trying to be polite. That's me hoping that some people just got desperate and were looking for something instead of just being a straight a-hole.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, I'll bring a little bit of sunshine to this conversation right now. So, you know. I mean, no. And I get it. You know what I'm saying? And I fully understand. Like I said, I've been there, and it's tough, and it's frustrating, right? That somebody feels they can take something that you worked hard for. I mean, we're all working hard people, so we do value the things that we have, right? Just 1 second. And so So with that being said, for me personally, this weekend has been a really good weekend as well, right? Good thing is I have my mom in town, and anyone who's watching live stream, you see she is walked in the building. Mom Dukes.
Hey.
My cousin got married this weekend, so congratulations to her. So, so I got family in town, and I told my mom I wanted to jump in on a conversation with us, have a woman's point of view as well. It's and always good to have mom jump in. She don't live here in Atlanta with me, so when she's here, I have to value the time and also get some input from her as well.
Mm-hmm. Hey, my Dukes.
Yeah, she'll hear it in a minute. Right now, she's getting herself together before she get on the TV screen.
I need some lipstick. Okay.
You get okay?
That's good.
Yep. So the microphone's up there. So
okay, the mic is up high.
Yeah, but you can hear yourself, right?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. So I didn't know how long Uncle's gonna stay, so that's why I set that up. So if anybody jump in, you have opportunity to be heard without a mic in your face.
Gotcha.
But we just getting the show started today, Mom.
Who's on?
We got Seth the Dark Child. It's a little delay, so
Okay, I'm just.
You're not ready, huh? Wasn't ready?
I wasn't ready for that.
I told you it's gonna be live today.
So how are you?
Hey, my Dukes, how you doing?
I'm well, thank you. Blessed to be here. See my grandkids. Surprised you aren't here.
I was on the way. I had an unfortunate domestic situation with my car and some strangers.
Oh, damn. Damn.
Yeah.
But you're okay, right?
I'm fine. They just, they just wanted what was mine, and that's frustrating.
Okay, love.
So the topic today that we're getting into today is racial support between minority groups, right?
Right.
So this is something we want to chop up. And, this is the Chop Shop. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in today. You know what I'm saying? We won't get into the conversation. So Seth the Dark Child, let's start with you, sir. What is your thoughts going on right now with this racial support between minority groups? What are your thoughts on this, sir?
All right. Full disclosure, I am black, and I identify as black. Nor do I have any ethnic, Hispanic, or Asian family members that I'm aware of. Mm-hmm. There are some lighter complexion people from the Caucasus area, but for the most part, we're black. And the only reason I wanted to touch base on this topic was I saw a meme on Facebook, and it said, "This would be a great time for black people to show their support for the Asian community and stand together because of the." What happened in Atlanta recently. Which, at first, I saw a lot of outpouring of support, right, on this meme. But then I saw a couple of people like, wait a minute. I respect what happened with their community, but where was our support recently for the things that happened to us? We rioted the entire summer for Black Lives Matter, and I didn't say rioted, but protested this entire summer for Black Lives Matter. Mm-hmm. And there wasn't a very large Asian or Hispanic population demographic out there in those streets with us, which made me want to touch base on this topic. So, I'm trying to be diplomatic this week.
And I get it, and I understand. And like I said, first, like I said, the piggyback what you're saying, Seth, as well. Like, my condolences to the families who lost loved ones during this time, because it's unfortunate that it has happened. But this is America, so. Everything was fine in news until I saw that post when they said that black people need to now work together, and I'm like, wait, how did we get involved with this? One, we didn't shoot nobody. That's number one. You talk, and then talk about had a bad day. I have plenty of bad days, and that came from a white cop who said that too. Yeah. Like, oh, he was having a bad day.
Right.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm gonna cover your ears real quick.
Yeah.
Listen, I watch porn. Okay, has never been any type of Grand Theft Auto during any porn that I have watched. So the fact that he was triggered and he felt he had to kill somebody, I don't know what he was watching, because it wasn't the normal porn that most people do watch. So to say that it wasn't race related, I find that kind of disheartening. And I find it that when even the cop said that he had a bad day, those were horrible choice of words. And then once, like Seth just said, I don't see that community doing any back to school drives in our communities.
Right. Nothing.
I don't see them doing any supporting us. But they make, if not billions off the black community.
Yes, hair, nails.
Easily.
Come on now.
Every year.
Go and say them all. They do what?
Hair, nails. Come on now.
So
clothes, everything.
So anytime you ladies you get your nails did, most of the time, I want to say 85%, maybe 90% of the time, it's going to be someone in that ethnic is going to do your nails. When you go buy your hair, they're the ones selling the hair. So they make plenty of money off us, which is what it is at this point, right?
Right.
But the fact that America is saying that we need to work with them, that they don't care about us.
I know.
You know, so the fact that they're trying to change the narrative and take the narrative off the person who started it was a white guy, 21 years old. Can't think his name. Don't really care about his name anyway. But he was the reason why we're at this place right now.
Right.
That last week here in Atlanta, Georgia, that these innocent people got killed for no reason. No reason at all, because I'm not even going to say mental, because that's the excuse they're going to use for everybody. Right. I'm not going to say that, but I'm saying because he's sick. He needs to be locked up for life. Throw away the key.
Yeah,
but,
I agree.
But you know, and that see what you just said. He needs. Did you see the picture of him? See, I don't always want to be that militaristic African black guy, right? But when Dylan Roof shot up the church in North Carolina, they stopped South Carolina. They stopped and bought this dude McDonald's or Burger King on the way to jail.
Yep.
This dude killed 9 people without a scratch on his face. They didn't lock him up. They didn't even bump his head, putting him in the backseat of the police car. Okay. And then when I see this guy get locked up after killing 8 people and wounding 11 or something like that, the numbers are still out there, I guess. After killing 8 people and wounding multiple others, this dude ain't got a scratch on his face. The police talking about he had a bad day, right? Yeah. But wasn't Eric Gardner just selling loose cigarettes?
Yeah, yeah.
He didn't kill nobody.
It's double standard, and we know that for us. There's always a double standard. And the compassion they always want us to have for somebody else, and there's never, ever any compassion or empathy for us, which I don't understand. So as far as, we supporting, we support everybody that's just and right, correct?
We do.
I'm just saying. So, this behavior is unacceptable. It could have been in the African-American community. It doesn't make it right. So.
Well, and the reason, part of the reason this came up, because recently, Twins, I had a conversation with IJ a couple days ago.
Okay.
And she we had a conversation about civil rights and the argument, and I told her that I just didn't I didn't support this particular that position, because regardless of not taking this particular situation off the table, just talk about civil rights up front, right? Is that whenever something happens, let's say, like I say, Tamir, we can name off the black people that is affected, Tamir Rice, George Floyd, and we protest and we fight. But any benefits that we get from our civil rights movement are automatically spread out to all minority groups, right?
Right.
But they don't have to take the bullets. They don't have to take the slings. They might end up, I'm not saying they're not being assaulted. I see the stats like everyone else. But we are the ones who finally get tired of it, and we are the ones who stand up and fight for something to get better. And then they instantly benefit from us, quote unquote, acting a fool in the street.
So true.
And I'm tired of it.
So true.
So
what do we do differently?
Come on, well, what do we do differently? The bad part is I don't know because the same group of people that that the guy who shot the spas looked like and Dylan Roof looked like. Well, see, they're doing it to everybody. We have to fight, right?
Right.
We have to stand up for ourselves.
We do.
It's just that everyone else saying, "Yo, you go over there and fight the bully, and we'll benefit from any." If the bully don't kill you, and it makes you stronger, it automatically makes us stronger. But we're not going to support you in your fight.
But we can change the narrative on that a lot. Finances, who do we support more than our own? Everybody else. So if we take the finances out of the equation and go back to our basic, building our community, building our villages, a lot of that stuff we can kind of, as far as our rights, what we want can be heard and spoken within our community. But we have to come together.
And that's a huge problem right there by itself. We can't get on one page. Well, I think, I agree with you saying. What you're saying is true. I mean, the money that we spend in the black community alone is the main reason why America is where it's at. Yes. Completely. Mm-hmm. All the sporting goods, all the clothes, the hair, the nails, TVs, music, cars. We are the ones are the top spenders, right? I mean, everyone else do spend, but we spend the most money. You don't think when everybody got these stimulus checks last week and this Friday, whatever, people wasn't buying new TVs, buying new cars, getting their hair done, getting nails done? Right. That money went right back into the comedy, but not into the black community.
Right.
And that's the problem right there. Right. And I understand this situation that happened, right, had nothing to do with us. So it's not like we have a plight against them. No. But technically we do, though, because, I mean, I want to say last year, the year before, a black woman got beat up in a nail salon. Not nail salon, but right, you understand what I'm saying? Dude was punching up blacks in the face.
God, yes,
so, see, me, I don't forget those things. Right? I didn't forget about Starbucks. I didn't forget about all these other companies. I did not forget about the NFL's things. So my point is this: see, we are short-minded.
Always.
You know what I'm saying? And we don't have no real leaders going to say, let's do this. Like, for instance, like when Gucci happened, right? T.I., one of the biggest well-known people in the world, what did he say? Oh, he's going to book on for, 3 months or something like that?
Right.
He put a timetable on it. What?
It should be permanent.
It should be permanent. Because then once you hurt their pockets,
there it is.
That's when they're going to really care.
Attention. Yeah, you get their attention.
They may not always fully accept it, but they're like, you know what? I'm losing $1 million over here because no one's buying nothing. Let's go ahead and make sure we do something to show that we do care. We don't care, which I understand. But if we combine our resources and keep our money in house only, we won't have these problems. So if we stop going to these nail salons and stop going to these hair places and find black-owned businesses, and yes, we as black businesses, we need to do better. It's just that simple. But here's what I say. I say it's on every platform that I'm on. You can go to McDonald's, you can go to Wendy's, you can go to Starbucks, you can go whatever place right now.
Right. They
mess up orders every day. Every day. And guess what? People still go back.
They still go back.
But if you go black owned business and one time you're done with them, you talk bad about them. And listen, I understand.
Instead of going back saying, hey, check this out. This wasn't like
and here's my rule of thumb of this. I support most all black businesses. They do something they don't like, cool. If I'm cool enough with them, I can have a conversation with them. If I don't, I won't say nothing. I won't bash. I won't say nothing. I just won't go back. But I did my part as, hey, I bought from you. I did X, Y, Z. Well, how come you need support? Do you really want to know? I can tell you why, but that's a whole nother story. But the point I'm trying to make is that you need to give our people that same level of respect or opportunity to grow. Just like, Amazon. Amazon started in someone's garage. You don't think they had messed up orders when they first started?
All the time.
So it was horrible.
My point exactly. So when you think about these companies who started small and big now, they started somewhere too, but the guy get the support. Yeah. And if we as blacks, if we want to get this, I don't think we'll ever get the same support from everyone else like we should, but we need to start at home.
Right.
And let's stop trying to compare that my trauma is worse than your trauma. At the end of the day, it's still trauma. I don't care how bad someone had it or hard they didn't have it. Just acknowledge that, yes, there is a problem that we need to work on together.
Right.
And let's move forward.
That's the goal.
Let's not be so afraid and scared to do things. But like I said, before we can help anyone else out,
We got to help ourselves.
we gotta help ourselves
Yeah,
out.
that's
So
true.
that's my main plan. Like, help them out. No, they don't care about us. And me and Self talking earlier before this conversation, I might see one of those people in that group maybe one time if I like go to the mall somewhere and see them walking by. But like I said earlier, no back to school programs. I don't see them at no basketball games, sport
They
games.
support their own community. They have that within their
Which is good, which is a beautiful thing, and that's what we need to realize.
Right.
All these other groups support
their own.
their own, which is no problem with that. Why can't we do that?
Mm-hmm.
My brothers and sisters, you if they're listening, how come we can't do that? How come we can't keep the money in our own house,
Get it.
home, and support one another and grow from there? But then when something happens, we don't look for other people to do this. Well, everybody want to wait for someone who is a famous person. Well, this person didn't say nothing and all this. Stop waiting for someone else. How about you be the reason? How
Yeah.
about you change and be the start?
Be that voice.
So yeah, that's one way we can start is internally.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on this,
Mhm.
Mom?
Well, it's a tragic. It is. It's
Definitely
tragic
tragic.
that it happened. There's no words you can say to bring those people back or action. We have to do better within all communities, for real.
Right.
Be it Asian, Caucasian, whatever, Spasian, whatever. To just have that love and compassion. It's gone. It truly is. Nobody cares or want to care or want to take the time, to say whatever his problem is. Like he didn't have a voice enough to say, like, I don't like the services here. It seems like he's gone from place to place.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how he got to this point. It's just that, like you're saying, every time something bad happens, we, the people, we the black, we for everybody. Send a black person because we need them to pray for them. We need them to be there to comfort them. We need you to be there to take care of them. And that's in situations as a professional. I have that now at the level that I'm in. It's always something tragic happened to somebody. Could you go see about them? Why? Why me?
Right.
Why me, the black person? Always got to be that compassion, empathetic, caregiver.
Forgiving, all that.
Yes, role.
It's that black mammy thing.
Yeah, exactly, and that's unacceptable. But that's how they see us as a whole. When something happens tragically in every community, we the people, we the black people, got to take care of the people.
I mean, I can't tell you the guy's name, but think about the cop who walked in the dude's house and killed dude in the house, right?
Yeah.
And his own brother,
Had
compassion. He hugged her and everything. Man, I'm telling you now, I'm jumping to the
that's that
grave.
both them genius.
Like, you better not hug nobody. Listen, if you forgive him, do that on your own terms.
It doesn't have to be that whole show there. Yeah.
And I think what Seth was saying earlier, beginning the conversation, is like when the killer who just got killed, the killer last week got arrested. When you see how he looked, he had no bruise marks, he had no bullet wounds, no nothing. Right? He done killed, like I said, 8 people. Shot at 8. He shot 8 and killed 6. Whatever. We have a man who fell asleep driving in a drive-through, which he couldn't do any damage to anybody besides make the car a little bump, right? The worst he could have done, right? And this man saying he was tired, he came back from a birthday party, he just wanted to go home.
Over was being smart, being safe,
right. And then somehow this man ended up dead, and he didn't hurt nobody besides maybe himself, maybe tired or intoxicated, whatever the case may be,
right.
But this man got shot and killed. But we see the other group of people go out there and kill many people, and they getting Burger King, they getting handcuffed, high five. Hey, you took out 8 of them. Good job. Like I think that's the most problem that we have overall. So when you ask me to support by someone else, I'm like, no. It may seem insensitive, but I'm not desensitized. Every time I see another black brother or black woman get killed, hell, Breonna Taylor. Every time I see someone gets killed right now, I'm still triggered. Like
it's traumatic.
I'm not over that. I didn't forget about that. I didn't forget about.
But we do forget about it until the next time. Time.
Well, see, and that comes. Personally, I agree with you. That comes because we are triggered. We can't always stay angry.
I know, right?
And
right.
So we have, and we keep doing it. But when we do hit a certain point, we will eventually get out in the streets and say no more. it's not right, but we will start tearing stuff up. Unfortunately, we tend to tear up our own neighborhood, but whatever.
Exactly.
But
that part.
but but at the same time, once again, when and we can always start doing this. When Freddie Gray, when Walter Scott, I didn't see other communities even, like you said, okay, the Black Mammy syndrome. You go, they over there hurt. Go over there and check on them.
Yeah.
How many times somebody come over and check on you?
Never, ever.
Exactly.
Right.
He's having a bad day and he killed 8 people. We need to understand some stuff. Yeah. But when I get mad, I'm just an angry black man.
Black woman. What you saying?
Exactly. This right now, America is at a really weird spot, and I'll give it to it as a country. We're at a weird spot where everybody is cognizant of racial tension right now. Okay, and it would. How hard would it be for the Asians or the Hispanics or whatever other groups to come together and be like, yo, we need to stand together. Let them open up the door and come to us.
Right.
Not the white man who put out that news article that we're talking about specifically. Let them come to us and be like, yo, we may have had some problems with you guys in the past. Most of it was unfounded. Right. But can we work together as a community? That's what. But it would be crazy for us as black people to reach out our hands again, because we've done it every single time.
All the time.
The NAACP does support the Hispanics and Asians in civil rights cases because any civil rights case does affect black people. But you can't tell me the name of any Asian American or Hispanic American group that provides those services to black people.
Oh,
that's right.
That's a good one.
Think of one.
I can't think of one either. You're right. We have programs for where everyone else can jump in and use them, but any programs they have, it ain't for. Oh yeah, and for blacks. No. That's a good one. You got me there, Seth. That's a hum moment right there. I gotta look that up and get some more information on that.
Exactly. And like I say, and once again, it's not being angry or being mean. It's simply the fact that for us, as black people, we have a lot of conversations. We sit on this channel. We go in on each other too, men versus women.
Yeah.
But stepping back, at the end of the day, no matter how frustrated I might get with the other side of the table, at least the other side of the table is my complexion, and I know what I'm dealing with. But I don't see those other teams who are minorities, we are counting on to help balance out the abuse that we're getting from the majority. And they act like, for the most part, they act like they part of the majority. They hate us too.
Right. Everybody hate us. Right.
I mean, go try to open up a convenience store or a gas station in the Asian community, a restaurant. I dare you.
Good luck. Right. Good luck.
Nothing. You can open it. It's four wing places. It's American Deli, American Bistro, A-Town Wing, whatever wing. I swear to God, I believe it's the same family running all 4, and all 4 of them are in walking distance of each other. And yet, when they pack up and go home at night, they leave this neighborhood. They take the profit out of the cash register, and they leave this community.
Yep.
And they don't even pay to keep their parking lot clean. Well, outside of whatever they have to pay, but you don't see them out there picking up trash or sweeping or nothing. No, they get their money and bounce. And yet we should come together, and it's on us to make that overture.
And we're supporting those businesses as well. We're going in there buying their chicken wings and things, So once again, we have to be accountable for us too. If we want things to change, the support, we have to bring our money back to our communities. I can't say that enough, within spend it. I mean, I'm a black business owner. I do everything black. I'm just saying. And I let the white people know that I will support a black person before anybody else, because I just want to help somebody else along the way, But it's not reciprocated, but I'm not playing on that, just because people aren't doing what I'm doing for them. It's all good. But I know, eventually that it'll work out. So, but that's just starting small, and each of us can do something every day. We can do one task a day. We can support our black businesses.
Yeah, and I agree with you saying that we're the ones supporting those businesses, and it's not by choice. The reason why I say a choice because in most projects, and they're called projects for a reason, but those areas are set up a certain way.
I know.
To where you can only go to those places. No, I'm with you. I get you.
Yeah.
And the rabbit hole gets deeper at this point now. Like, how come it's only a liquor store, a wing store, Chinese stores, and these Dollar Trees,
right,
in these poor low income areas, right? Which is walking distance. Most of them are walking distance because some people don't got cars.
Right.
And
we need to be on the council. We need to be part of our community. We need to take it to another step. People complaining about that stuff, but you have a voice when you show up to a meeting and voice your concerns.
And we'll take it back even more because now we put back some layers now to get on those boards and stuff. Everything you just said is that now education. Our young kids need to be taught it's okay to be a governor or local mayor.
Yes.
Those things are good because you can make changes in your local neighborhood or even other neighborhood, but you can have that power. See, our youth is now right. Oh yeah, it's going to be a basketball player, a football player, go to college, right? Which is cool, but they never teaching about hey, you in control.
Right.
You're not taught about politics until maybe high school, maybe in college.
Right.
I know we learned the basics of the parties,
right,
but that's all they thought. They didn't teach about the benefit of being, being like a lawyer or being the mayor of your city,
right.
Or even being the head police officer, chief,
right.
Because now you can control some things.
Yep.
So education is key when it comes to our young generation who can take those roles. Because hold on, before you go in, if you look at any of these, I can't think of it. If you watch CNN and they're in a room where everybody's sitting in the room, they voting on something, right? You can actually look at the whole room and you can count how many black people you see in there.
Always.
It could be like
Always.
70 people in there, and out of 70 people, you might find maybe 10 or 11 black people in there, and that's the problem right there. We're nowhere in place of power. But go ahead, Seth. I ain't gonna cut you out. I'm gonna make sure I put that point out there.
Well, I'm sorry. I wanted to interrupt while you were on this conversation about education because I think I just wanted to add something that's been in my mind recently because I watched a video on YouTube and he was talking about the swag factor that's almost required in the black community. And I disagree with it, but we got to teach our kids it's okay to be nerds. See, they don't need to learn about politics. They don't need to. I mean, they do. I'm just saying, at a young age, they don't need. They don't need to learn about politics, and they don't need to learn about computers and everything at a young age. It would be helpful. They need to learn that it's okay to be smart. It's okay to be a bookworm. It's okay to learn how to think because just because you ain't cool don't mean that you aren't valuable. But our community, even at a young age, they start thinking that being cool and accepted by people in the street, I suppose I call it, is more important than being smart. And by the time they realize that I'm smart enough to be a lawyer or I'm smart enough to be a politician, a lot of us have already done something that keeps us from going to that next level.
That part right there.
Some of the smartest people I know, literally some of the smartest guys I ever knew, are in jail, dead, or have a record because they was, let's be real, they was moving weight in the dope game back in the 80s and 90s. They could easily have been CEOs and politicians, but they was hustling in the street.
Right.
Those were the guys that could have been where we need them at now, but they didn't have that opportunity because they were doing what they thought they had to do to survive, maybe, or they just got caught up in the coolness versus intelligence
right
equation.
And that's a choice, right? Because they weren't born to be out in the streets, or they weren't born to be in that environment. People choose. I mean, I know guys that, where you guys grew up at, it was nothing but drugs and violence and not that my boys were raised any differently than any other kid than with
he was okay, I'm sorry.
Well, I guess a little bit. But anyway, but they chose not to. And why did you choose different? Because you had the opportunity. I mean, to sell weed, to, get into the life. What made you not go that route other than me threatening your life? But go ahead.
Hold on, Seth. Hold on, Seth. Before you answer, hold on, Seth. Hold on. I want to answer this question here real quick.
Okay.
Listen, well, one, I knew I wasn't about that life. And I mean, that life is jail life. So that was my fear. I did never ever want to get on jail because, growing up, men go to jail, men get abused, and I'm not about that life. So that was number one. But two, I wanted more for myself, right? I had goals. You know what I'm saying? I was that little computer geek growing up young. So, and I like video games and I like life. I want to be outside. I want to be free. I didn't know much at a young age about the history of black people, like slavery and all that stuff. I mean, I learned as I got older, but back then I'm like, listen, I know my people before me had it worse, right? So I'm going to take my opportunity and do something right. But yes, I mean, there could have been plenty of times I've been in jail, and by the grace of God, I dodged those bullets and stayed out of jail and chose the path that I am now. But go ahead, Seth. You can say what you got to say now.
Well, no, and kudos to what you just said. No, that's kind of sort of where I'm at. It's not that those guys didn't do it. They did make a choice to make the money. They did what they did. But the point of it is like, we need to get all the way down. Everything wrong with our community, period. I don't see us as older folks fixing this. We are who we are. I'm 40 years old. I'm just a voice of wisdom. It's the children. I think the Black Panthers in the 60s had the right idea. You need to raise your kids to be the people we need them to be.
Facts. And
that includes, once again, whether all these kids need something to do. Whoever tried to break into my car last night, right? There was a point in his life where we could have kept him from being in a position to make that decision.
Right.
Not that we could always change everybody, but maybe he didn't have anything to eat for breakfast. Maybe he went to school hungry or went to sleep hungry one time too many. Maybe he didn't have a father figure to bring him to the side and be like, yo, taking other people's stuff ain't the right thing to do. And you know what I'm saying? But we it's all got to start with the children. And even for the Asians, because they don't like us. They watch American TV. I'm sorry, I'm back on the original topic.
No. Yeah, we can go there.
But the Asians, the Hispanics, they watch American TV. They eating the black people are the enemy propaganda, and it's better to be white, and we'll treat you better because you're lighter complected. By the time you get to the point where you realize that the enemy has been feeding you poison, you already are poisoned. It's all about the kids, though. We really got to reach out to the kids to build a better world because, my frustrations with what I see in the street would make it difficult for me to accept them asking for a helping hand. I seen what you did to my sister trying to get her hair braided. You punched her in the face. You follow me around the store talking about, you know why you get out. You know why you get out. You said these things to me. I've heard these things. I'm less willing to go out there and take a dog biting me or a water hose to the face like we do for our own people. So that's all I'm saying. We really gotta fix our children to fix the world.
So let me ask you
because we gotta raise better people.
Seth, do you have any little kids? Do you have little ones?
I had two sons, but my oldest is 6. He'll be 16 in July.
Okay.
My youngest will be 16 in July.
So, Dwayne, do your kids watch, what is that, anime?
No.
All those? Okay.
No, they
So there's a lot. I'm just saying subliminal. You say about, the kids and, getting them, raising them, showing them the way so they can be our future. But the Asian community, they have so much influence on our kids. I'm not down with anime. I have no idea what that animated.
But we know what it is, though. Me and Steph, we know what it is, though.
Oh yeah. We're sorry. We are corrupted.
But I'm just saying they're corrupting our babies. I'm like, what is it? I'm like, I tried to sit there to try to understanding grass is beyond me. I'm just like, there's certain things in age group that's beyond me. But I'm saying stuff like that. They have other apps, like are you familiar with Bigo? Okay, before you get into that. But I'm just saying.
I know you're going with it. So me, because I have 2 little ones, I supervise and watch everything. I supervise everything they do. Right. I'm always grabbing their phones, their iPads, their tablets, whatever, and seeing their history. I check their history, make sure they ain't looking nothing crazy. And if I see something, I ask about it. I got, even when they play on the Xbox and PlayStation Fortnite, I have it to where they can't really have communication with random people.
Good.
So, but all those things do, because, yes, what Seth said earlier, men need to raise their kids, right? Or, parents, both y'all need to raise your kids. Throwing your kid a tablet or watch TV all day is not the best way, because the TVs and social media definitely has a big influence on our generation. It's definitely poison. So, what Seth was saying is the fact we do have to start with the kids. We can't change. It's hard to change an adult at a certain age to think differently. Right. You just can't. I tell somebody this: you can mold a little child to do certain things at a young age, but once they get 13 and up and start feeling themselves, it's kind of hard to break their thinking, because the whole baby life they've been baby, and you tell them to take the trash out. No, I ain't taking nothing out. Right. Now you fighting with them to do it. It's a different if you mold them up just right. But even what you're saying as well, one of y'all said this, but that same group, right, that they want us to work together with, it's a known fact that their kids is raised not to talk or date to our group. Right. That's across the board. Right. So if you telling your kids not to even date my people, so when something happened to y'all, why am I helping and jumping in front of the hoes and dogs and all that stuff for what? Because there's no benefit at all. But once again, it all comes back down to we must take care of home, and that's it. Until we can get to the point as a whole group, as African Americans in America, if we can't come together, then we'll get nothing. Nothing ever will happen. We can't have one group over here and one group over here had the same thing but go on different routes. It's not going to work. We need to come together and and try to figure this out. That's all we can do. Try to figure it out. But anyone they're trying to campaign and try to say, let's support this group, let's support that group, let's support that group. No, don't do that. Don't do that, because I don't see those groups in the last 12 years. What have you been?
Stop.
Wait, my gear grinder in that statement you just made is this: the group that's actually causing the problem is the same group telling you to go support another group that they cause problems with.
Yep.
Did anybody catch that part?
Yeah, I heard what you said. Yeah, right there. You can stop. Yep, drop the mic, because that group.
That group right there, who's causing all the problems. He's causing the problems for everybody, for us, for them, everyone else. When can we just hold them accountable for their actions? How about that?
Like, he's a young man that made a mistake and just had a bad day.
He made a mistake, but a black man can't make a mistake.
We do, and it costs us our lives. Live on TV.
Exactly. I'm sorry. Some of the for me, it gets. The names start rolling through my head of the past. Philando Castile and Alton Sterling. Every time I hear something like this, it's insulting. Even though I have an agent, dude, the lady who accused Emmett Till of and got him killed, right? She's too old to be prosecuted, even though there's no statute of limitations on that.
Bill Cosby.
Yeah. You really. Here's my thought, and this is off the topic, but I just want to say it out loud. You have to take not any of us minorities, you as the group who harboring these people with bad days, you will have to take responsibility for this. And I don't mean in some ad hoc, we're going to donate $10 million to a community center. Right. No, somebody needs to step forward and be like, yo, we did this. We are going to be punished, and we are going to let the people we hurt punish us. Not we're going to sit around with a jury of our peers in DeKalb County in Atlanta most of the juries tend to be 60 to 70%, white.
Right.
No, I don't know if we've ever felt like we've got justice in this country.
We have not.
And then, and the other minority groups, honestly, it's almost as if we, Asians, Hispanics, Asian, Pacific Islanders, whatever you want to call it, as a group, we're almost equal to them as a whole. If it was us against them, we're almost equal. We could demand better. But too many of y'all think it's cooler to be on their side of the street than our side of the street. We can't ever we can't ever team up with them. We automatically black. You are brown and light brown and light yellow, whatever color. They accept you. They don't accept us. Period. We're on the other side of the table.
And you
fine.
And right. And I'm saying, just to add on what you're saying, so people get more understanding. This goes all the way back to slavery. Yeah. And when we say, and then the reason why I say slavery because, all blacks were slaves, right? But different blacks were treated differently. Yep. So you have the black males outside picking the cotton. You have the light-skinned black people who were, light-skinned. They were in the house taking care of the family or XYZ, the cooking, cleaning, inside in the house. And, of course, the women were whatever. I don't want to get to that because I'm going to get upset. But the point I'm trying to make is that there was always levels. So that's why you have this black man, the dark-skinned man versus the light-skinned man or white, because they were treated. And this is just trauma that we have had over these decades of years, and it's carrying over even to now. Even though slavery's gone, most men want a light-skinned girl with long hair and all this because she's much beautiful and I have beautiful kids. You know what I'm saying? Right. Oh, I don't want no dark skin. She's just too dark. Like what? Yeah. And that's a problem. And what do they call that? Colorism. We have a problem within our own. If in our own group, we can't even get along. Nope. And that's where that part comes from. Some of y'all people who just don't understand why, in internal black group, we have problem with each other. Yeah. 400 years of trauma, just that simple.
Hey, let me add something. I did a tiny little bit of research just to come up with talking points, right? Mm-hmm. So the Japanese specifically, right? After World War II, when they put Japanese in internment camps in World War II, right? Yeah. Well, after that, the Japanese, not Asians specifically, not Chinese, but they were very sympathetic to the black man's plight in America in the 50s and 60s because they knew what it felt like, right? Mm-hmm. Even I don't have his name, but one Japanese guy, he actually supplied weapons to the Black Panther Party and taught them how to use them. They didn't just pick up the gun and learn how to be militant. They were taught, right? Mm-hmm. Now, the funny part about that is that when Ronald Reagan gave reparations to World War II, the Japanese families of World War II back in 1988, all that support from the Japanese to the black community, that solidarity disappeared. It went away. They got their money. They got straightened out. Basically, Uncle Sam paid them off to leave us alone. Mm-hmm. That's hit. You can do your research. It's there. But check this out. As another thing, when I say I'm tired of us taking the bullets and the slings and arrows and everyone else benefiting, check this out. Interracial marriage. So the civil rights movement and remember Loving versus Virginia, I think. When they removed the ban from interracial marriage. Mm-hmm. Well, who would you think actually benefited in that marriage ban being removed, even though black people fought for it?
Don't know.
We'll say Asians. How about this? In America, right now, as of 2016, 36% of Asian women in America and 28% of Asian men in America are married to white people, white men and women. Wow. Whereas for black people, you got barely 8% of black people interracially married. Across the board, black, Asian, white, doesn't matter. Only about 8 to 10%. So the Asians came up, almost 30% of them interracial marriage, but we paid the blood for that particular benefit. Yep. The Voting Rights Act of 1965. We thought that was for us, right? But guess which group benefited the most from being able to vote? Voting rights. Hispanics. Yeah, Hispanics. Yeah, and they benefit more than black people from the 1965 Voting Rights Act, because the moment they say minority group, it includes everybody. And unfortunately, in this country, there are more Hispanics than black people. We tend to not want to put that up on and put that in people's mind, but it's more of them than there are us. Right? And immigration, right? During the Civil Rights Act, we fought for immigration from African countries. Except for, guess who benefited the most from that? Asians and Hispanics. No matter what we do to fight, it's always smoke and mirrors. They give us what they want, but they add so much onto it, it doesn't really benefit us. It benefits someone else before it benefits us as black people. I just don't think it's smart for us to get in other people's fights anymore.
No, it's not. It's not.
I mean, based on all the statistics you just ran down, in the history-wise, yeah, I don't see the benefit, benefit either. I mean, once again, I have compassion for them. I have compassion for anyone who gets killed or murdered in that type of way, right? Compassion is there.
I do.
So we're not saying we don't care. We just say we understand, but asking us or have the media telling us we should stand with y'all and all that stuff, no, don't want to do it. And I don't want to hear that, we support the cause of Black Lives Matter, all that stuff. Nope, that's not for us. And if you did your research, you know that's not for us neither. So that's more of an insult that you don't care. You trying to go the easy route, right?
Yo, you know what? I'm willing to support you. You be the tip of the spear. I'll be the handle back here. I got you.
Right.
But you go out and take this whooping at the police barricades. Let's see you do that.
Right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I think not saying we beat it down long enough, but I think we hit some valid points here. And honestly, like, if you don't take anything away from this conversation today, is that, one, we need to focus on our group only. The black group, yourself only. We can't be jumping into other people's fight because people don't jump in other fights with us. And if nothing. Just open your eyes and watch TV. When we get killed, crickets. When they get killed, pray for us, do this and all that. You know what I'm about to do. Because soon something else happened. I see all the Facebook posts, pray for them, pray for this, pray for that. Right. What about black people?
Right.
I never say pray for black people. I understand it. What's that church that got burnt down last year? Out of the country. The biggest church. I can't think of the name.
The Vatican?
Was that it? They got burnt down? Well,
was there a fire in Rome? I think the Vatican caught fire. I don't know if it was last year.
That's right. There's some part of the Vatican caught fire, but you're talking about a big mega church.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not a church. I mean, it's one of the religious buildings, but it's not in America. But we sent all that money.
Oh, right.
We sent all that money to build a place that I know I'm not ever gonna go there. That's not on my bucket list. only way I make it there is somehow I get into acting and there's a movie being shot there and I'm there. That's the only way I'm going. The point I'm trying to make.
I want to. It's Notre Dame in Paris. It was 2019 Notre Dame.
Right, and I saw on social media, pray for Paris, pray for Paris. I'm like, what? But the point I'm trying to make is this: we also quick to jump on everyone else's wave. Can you stay in your own lane and just support your own? Teach our kids. Talk to your kids. Teach them being smart is cool. You know, being athletic is cool, but being smart is even cooler once you get older.
Right.
Because one injury and your career is gone. It's just that simple. So you need to have something to fall back on. But education is going to be key. Learning about, being in the government, being a mayor. Right. Those things do matter and they give you power. So if you want power, you don't have to be a sports person to be power. You can be in a political game to get that power. So just something that we need to think about. We need to infiltrate that, like the group, the K group, that infiltrate the police system. We need to infiltrate the legal system and all those things. Black people, stop. I get it, people. Jury duty sucks, but do it. We have to do it. We gotta get some. We have to do it. I know it sucks. I hate it. We all hate it, but we gotta do it because someone's life matters because of it.
Yeah.
Every time we say no, they say yeah, and then when somebody is innocent, they going to jail or they're losing out because we were too lazy to do our part. So we gotta do our part. So I'll leave it there, and y'all can close out from there. Mom?
Before I'll go.
No, go ahead.
You can go. So I'm just saying, I kudos. I ditto you on all of that about supporting our own, starting with our children, starting with our community, starting with our relationships, just starting with, just once again, my basic is communication. Nobody knows what you're going through unless you tell them. So the other piece of education is also empowering our people about our culture. You know what I'm saying? Black History Month should be every day. It's not a month, or it's not a day. It's an ongoing thing that we really need to instill in our children so we don't forget, because they're getting so far away from our culture or where we come from. And it's not a shame thing. It's not a shame to, we built this country. We without, wanting to come here. It's not a shame thing. We are here now. What have we done differently? So that's our future. It's just educating our children about our past. Do that.
All right. Go ahead, Seth.
Yeah. I co-sign every single thing you both said. I don't have a whole lot to add. We as Black people, I think we might need a new show for this one, but we need to redefine what Black culture is in America. We don't really have roots. We have traditions that we built over the last 150 years or so.
That's right.
But we've let a lot of that go over the last couple of decades. And we need to redevelop some kind of culture so that it's always African American first, no matter what we do. I just want to add one piece of other information. I told a friend of mine from Trinidad that I wanted to retire in Africa. Her response was, "You don't want to do that, the automatic negative." Right? I have a friend who's from the Virgin Islands. I told him I wanted to retire in Africa. He had the same type of reaction, right? And then I told my sister that I plan to retire in Africa. She had the same reaction. So people, I said the poison. The reason I was so angry about the poison being spread to our people is because we do have somewhere that we can develop a culture at, but for some odd reason, we've been poisoned a little bit about reaching out to that place. And I would say, who benefits with that narrative being in the universe? But like I say, not to get too far off topic. Yeah, education. We need to develop a culture. We need to put ourselves first. This isn't to hate on anyone else, but Black lives do matter to us. Forget that other stuff. I need my brothers and sisters to know that we are brothers and sisters before we start trying to keep picking fights for somebody else, because they show benefit from our blood in the streets. But that'll do it for me. I'm good.
I like that.
I do too.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in today for the Chop Team with my special guest, my mom, tuning in the show, being live in the studio. If you do have any other topics you want to discuss, send us an email at thechopteam@gmail.com. You can follow us on the Chop Team below on Twitter, IG. We there. So thanks for tuning in. We love everyone for being supportive. And enjoy the rest of your day. And we out.
Thank you.
Peace, brother.